answering the question that nobody asked. Here's an off-road MGB GT. Welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name's Simon and today I'm at the fabulous Practical Classics Restoration Show at the NEC. So take your pick, for starters, between a Colt Sapporo and a rather mouldy Citroën BX Estate. Hope you enjoy the show. So this is truly a survivor. It's a 76 Datsun 280C, originally sold as in the original market new was Australia. Got some great features the owner's just been telling me about. See, there's a module in the back there that projects a couple of lights and they're linked by fibre optics to the rear brake lights. So, and then it's projected to the interior view mirror and you can tell if your brake lights are working properly. It's also got marker lights on the front. Now these do light up blue and they tell you if your lights are on. Well, that's a very visual interpretation. The owner has repainted it. It survived super well. What an absolutely epic car. I am really liking that one. So Page Motors in Epsom commissioned Crayford to develop this hatchback version of the TR7, the Tracer, back in the late 1970s. In actual fact, what happened is that the project didn't progress. It was seen as potentially they couldn't sell the vehicle at the price point they anticipated, and they ended up with, I think they've just got one, and this is it. Yeah, it's a hatchback estate version of a TR7. Well, there you go. So this is a rare sight today. I think Mazda were not an official national sales company. They were imported by TKM, Tozer, Kelmsley and Milborn, sold limited numbers. I think the gentleman's agreement limiting Japanese car imports was still in force at the time, but a 323 is rare. A 323 sedan is probably pretty much the rarest of the rare, and we're going to have a look inside this one. The owner has let me have a look inside, and it's, well, it's typical of the period, typical Japanese plastics of the period. Love those very delicate looking switchgear. Look at the control there for the, I think it must be the wipers, or maybe for the wash, I'm not sure. It's an automatic. That seat trim is mint, isn't it? And of course, it's fitted with a sunroof. What more do you need? So the Rover 800 top line version was called the Sterling, which they had from Lawrence. They actually called it the Sterling, only the Sterling in the US when they entered the US market. Now this was a very highly appointed executive car, beautiful. This is an early car with a 2.5 litre engine. Subsequently they went from a 2.5 to a 2.7. The owners very kindly let me have a look inside. Still got the original 800 series mats. The dash is in good condition, isn't it? I did drive one of these back in the day. I drove a later 827 for a while, and it was a lovely car. Really nice place to be. Really powerful. Lots of space in the back. We'll take a quick look in the back if it's. We'll have to look in through the front, I think there. But just as nice in the back as the front, I think. So this is an Orion 1600 Executive, not a gear injection on which it was based. And what makes it unusual, it is a special edition car, but it was actually built by Tickford. Yes, the coach building division of Aston Martin. So the cars went there for finishing. Mechanically, they were pretty much the same, but in terms of interior trim, the stories on the inside with this car, and it's got lovely burr walnut trim. What's that covered here? It's got leather seats. The Ford switchgear is the same, but it was the interior that's the showstopper. There you go, lashings of, it might even be proper wood. It's pretty hard to believe that the XJS is actually celebrating a 50th birthday, and what better way to do it than with a car with the ST1 number plate. I don't know if this is really the one that came from Return of the Saint, driven by Ian Ogilvy. It's got the GKN alloys, which the first cars came with. All the first cars were 5.3 V12s. Only later in life did it get the option of a 3.6 and then also a 4 litre, enlarged to 4 litre. That's absolutely lovely, isn't it? Well, I can guarantee you won't see too many FSO Polonaises about. Oh, at least you've seen this one, I suppose. Standard Vanguard, the company that took over Triumph and then took the Triumph name and dropped the Standard name. Incredible, incredibly well-built cars. Supplied quite a few of these as cars to the Royal Air Force in estate form to move bomber crews around the UK. Not a common sight at all on UK roads. Certainly not these days. Lovely colour scheme on that one, isn't it? So full Bergerac spec Triumph Roadster. Those that know. But I have to say that the lady in the rear seat doesn't look too enamoured with the way things are going. So this is a Cavalier Calibra. Yeah, you heard it right. It's got an Ermshire body kit, as you can probably see there, the Ermshire eye on the grille, and they just produced 500 of these. I think only 40 of them actually remain. It's based on the 130 Cavalier. Minimal mechanical, if any mechanical changes, I think, to be honest with you. All the changes were in terms of the look and feel of the car. And what they did, one of the things they did, they supplied these to a few fleet customers, one of them being Thorn EMI, and they used them as promotional cars for some competitions they ran for some Thorn EMI brands, one of those brands being the Rumbelows electrical store, and they would give it to the best performing shop owners, shop managers I should say, for a period of a month. But 40 left. So this is a rare sight today. It's a Mark 1 Land Rover Freelander in a beautiful colour, Kimber Sand. Now if you wanted to know what it was like to remove the sunroof, the guys in here are actually removing it. And how many people does it take to remove a sunroof? Well, at the moment probably about 4 of them. So rather than me, let's leave them to it, guys, because I can see they've absolutely got their hands full. That's what my car looks like, but it's the putting it all back together that's the challenge, eh? We've all been there. Wish we'd never started. Let's hope they can finish it. So this is an unusual car. It is converted by Crayford and it's a Wolseley Hornet. They did 57 of these to time with the Heinz brand. It was a competition they did. Half of them were in Toga White and the other half were in birch grey like this one. So we're just going to take a look at this car. Those competition winners went on to win one of these, one of the 57 cars. A few of them remain. In fact, I think one of them might even be with the original family of the competition winner. It was a big order for Crayford at the time and they did very well out of it. But they only ever produced the this version of the car for this competition. They didn't actually sell it themselves. And it's really rare to see them. Now, there was, I think, a picnic set came with the car, so I'm going to focus in on that. I think there's a picnic set round the front that actually came with the car. Maybe it was in the glove box. I believe there was a makeup set as well. And there's the picnic set, and there was also a ladies' makeup set. Wasn't that fabulous? The answer to a question nobody asked. A Rolls-Royce pickup, why does it exist? Who knows? Who built it? Who knows? But the owner bought it on eBay whilst on holiday, and it's a very useful pickup conversion. There you go. I didn't even know that one existed, but apparently it does. What a great story. So some would argue, I think it was Peter Horbury at Volvo's finest work. It was creating a sort of sports coupe for Volvo. They insisted on the grille, but he put the grille right at the bottom there, a bit out of sight. So he ticked the grille box. It's got pop-up lamps, so I'm already in at pop-up lamps. This is a unique paint finish. It's owned by the OG Cars channel, so check that one out. Next to it, we've got a rather lovely so-called bread van Polo. Now, I drove these back in the day, and I must admit, I think they didn't have a brake servo. Maybe the later cars did, but you couldn't stop them. Well, that's what it felt like anyway. But this one's beautiful, isn't it? Lovely paint colour and fantastic contrast white wheels. What's not to like? So this 78 Manta is probably what all the show's all about. The owner bought it originally for the engine. He's been gradually restoring it, fixing it, running it for the last, I think he said, 18 years, as it appears to be still in regular use. He says he's not a professional restorer, and probably it wouldn't even be worthwhile spending the amount of money needed. But you know what? It runs, it keeps it on the road, it keeps the car out there, and it's great that people do keep these cars running, and it's not an immaculate trailer queen. Fantastic. So Mark II Astra is essentially, I believe, a lot of Mark I components underneath the Mark II, but incredibly much more aerodynamic and looks substantially different. This is a GSI. It's a left-hand drive version, so it's obviously come from another market. It's actually badged, in fact, as Opel. There's the clue, Simon. And got the double overhead cam 16-valve engine. Looks lovely, doesn't it? Marketed in the UK as cabin cruisers is a Messerschmitt. I think they've had the Villiers engine in with this canopy. When Messerschmitt obviously were forbidden for manufacturing aircraft, they needed to do something else, so they turned their attention to microcar production, and this is what they came up with. What a great little car. I'd love to have a go in one of those. It is apparently a two-seater. Well, I'm not sure how quick it will be with two people on board, but an amazing little car. So that's an unusual one, a Skoda Felicia pickup with an aero top. I'm sure these were a special edition. The name escapes me for now because it's got that contrasting yellow interior. Not quite sure the significance of the frog on the side, but there you go. It's got yellow. If you like yellow, you're in the right place here. And our channel likes yellow, and we like that. Very good. So built in Washington Tynaway, apparently it's the only Geordie sports car, so it claims, with an imp engine. I think these were some ex-Lotus engineers built this. They did produce limited numbers. I think it was produced in different formats by different organisations in the end, but it's all the action is round the back, as you can see. Rear engined with the imp engine in there. Yeah, an unusual find. They are about, but there's not many of them. And what a lovely little sports car that one is, isn't it? So long before AMG were part of Mercedes as they are now, they produced tuning kits, and this W126 Series 500 SEL is an AMG model. Absolutely super paintwork. It was scheduled to appear in Top Gear, but when the series got canned, it missed its moment of fame. But it's an epic looking car, isn't it? If you like black, you've come to the right place. It's got that wider, semi-wider SEC type grille, and some very understated but lovely AMG 5-spoke wheels, beautiful beige leather interior, and a very subtle lip spoiler at the back. It's a sort of a semi-gangster spec, isn't it? Does look lovely though, doesn't it? So you will probably not have seen one of these. It's a Goggamobile. Yes, what I hear you cry. T700, apparently one of only 95 worldwide. Goggamobile was a microcar brand developed by Glass, who subsequently went on to be part of BMW, built in Dingolfing. I've murdered that German there, but that's the place where they make 5 Series BMWs, I believe, to this day. The owner has invited me to have a quick look. If you like cream, you're in exactly the right place. Wow, look at the wraparound windscreen, those basic controls there. A bench seat. There's actually a surprising amount of movement. A column, not a column shift, a gear change on the floor. Yeah, that's door handle. Yep. Trafficators, I guess they are. What an incredible little car, isn't it? Look where the spare wheel is. It's under the bonnet. What a handy place. Probably because the engine sits almost on the floor. Wow. That's a truly special little car, isn't it? And right-hand drive, how many right-hand drive cars must have been sold? Probably count them on your hand. Excellent. So this takes me back. I passed my test in a K10 Micra, a bit of an earlier one. This is a facelift car, got that facelift grille. It's got the original plates on. Absolutely lovely to see that. I'd forgotten that the bonnet was hinged like that. It just shows you what your time plays tricks on your memory. That tiny little engine in there. I remember these. What a great car for a learner to drive in, because it's got a knife through butter gear change. Well, this is not an issue in this one, it's an automatic. It's a sea of plastic and of this fabric, and it's no bad thing for it. Those dinky column stalks, minimum switch gear, keep fit windows. It's got a sunroof. It might even be a factory sunroof as well by the look of it. Do you know what? That's made my day to see that little car. I would love one more drive in an early K10 Micra just to remind me of what it was like at 17 or 18 years old to learn to drive in them. I love that. So this, I think, is a Phase 2 Renault GT Turbo from 1990, bought by a lady called Paige. I think her dad bought it and paid something like £100 for it. Can you believe it? Let's have a look inside. It's got the colour coding. Of course, everything was white colour coded back in the 90s, wasn't it? Of course it was. Now I've got to master how you open these and have a look inside. Red carpets. Well, it's got to be fast if it's got red carpets, hasn't it? That instrument binnacle, that hooded binnacle, that's beautiful, isn't it? So it's seen a very long restoration. It was sat in Paige's dad's garden for a while. But I tell you what, it deserves its place in the pride of ownership here. That's epic, isn't it? So this affectionately known AME6 from 1964 is called Irene. Now, it's a French car. It's the only right-hand drive car in the UK. And why is it right-hand drive? Well, the story is that the original owner had a disability, crushed her hand, and she was able to operate the controls with her left hand, and consequently it had, by special order, the steering wheel on the right. Well, there you go. Certainly an interesting looking car, aren't they? Arguably the finest work of Robert Opron is this Citroën SM. Apparently one of the last owners was a Methodist preacher who was 89. I'll take their word for it. Co-engineered with the help of Maserati, who Citroën owned at the time. Some common parts between Maseratis and this of the period. It's an epic colour, isn't it? Don't you just like that? That is absolutely lovely. And completing the Skoda set, I think this is the car that was produced just in the early days of VW ownership of Skoda. It's in lovely condition, isn't it? What a little beauty. I think these were Bertone designed, I'm sure they were. Now I always get my Favorits and Felicias confused, but this is definitely a Favorit because it says so. So we've come into the classic car auction section to have a look around and see some of the cars that you can actually buy here, and there's a couple of absolutely cracking Escorts in here, Mark IIIs. You've got the RS Turbo, only ever supplied in white. Princess Diana, I think she had one in black, but virtually every other one was white. I think hers sold for a record price a few years ago, but that one looks quite bright. Lot number 270. Now this Mark III was a homologation special, an RS 1600i. Substantial differences between this and the standard XR3i. A bit more power, I think 115 brake horsepower in these, maybe versus maybe 105. Certainly in this condition I can't imagine how much this is worth, but serious numbers there. That looks lovely, doesn't it? So this one's caught my eye. It's lot number 154. It is an Uno Turbo, Turbo IE, later facelift car. Goodness, these are hen's teeth. It says exceptional with 47,000 miles on, and you know what, it does look exceptional. I think it might even be, is it open? I'm not sure. Yes, it's actually open, and it's in pretty good nick in there. Well, it's either well restored and well prepared, or in actual fact it's a very straight original car. So that too could be yours. So this is the mythical Clio Williams 1, they did a Williams 2 and a Williams 3, slight differences in the paint colour. It was promised to be a limited run and then eventually it wasn't. But this one is highly collectible now. It's got the plaque, the Williams plaque that you probably see in the middle of the picture. It says a guide price, I think, of something like £20,000 to £25,000. Well, at least that, because probably it's one of the cars that will really take off and be well received here, I think. It does look lovely, doesn't it? I'm not sure where you buy this barn find or garage find dust, but I'm going to get some of it sprinkled on my car. It makes them worth more apparently. This one has been emerged from a garage. It's got 99,000 miles, but it's only guided at £8,000 to £10,000. Clearly it's going to require quite a lot of recommission. I can probably do the washing part about it, but I suspect everything else is going to need an awful lot of work. So this is a particular rare Datsun pickup, ex-South Africa, a 1972 Datsun 521 pickup, guided at £5,000 to £8,000. Whether it'll make that or not, who knows? Well, it looks nice and shiny on top, doesn't it? It would certainly make a great promotional vehicle for a business, and for those people into the Jap car scene, yeah, just ticks that box, doesn't it? Now, I'm a sucker for a van as well, and this Austin Metro City 310 van's from 1988, guided at £4,000 to £5,000. Doesn't look bad actually. A bit worried about the fact its previous owner was Bodgett, Codgett and Scarpa, but never mind, we'll put that to one side. Oh, it does look rather tidy, I must admit, to tell you the truth. Doesn't it? Any hands up for that one? Well, I'm not quite sure what I'd do with a 1983 Land Cruiser fire engine, but I could play it being Fireman Sam, I suppose, couldn't I? I'm not quite sure what... looks like it's been ex-Japanese fire department. It is UK registered. Oh, it's easy to get in and out of, isn't it? There's no doors. And it's got the full firefighting gear on the back. There you go. Apply here, Fireman Sam. Now, guided at £8,000 to £10,000 is Lot 198, which is a Renault 1916 valve, but cabriolet. Looks rather nice. I do like those early wheels. I'll have to get some guidance as to whether those were the standard wheels fitted on this. Who built it? Was it... oh, Carmen. Carmen built these. I didn't know that. Looks rather nice, that one, doesn't it? Very nice. So lot 133 is a Ford Escort XR3 TF. What the hell is that, you say? Well, in actual fact, it was built to celebrate the victories of the 1700T. If you remember, that was the short-lived rally car, and it was built in South Africa. So it's a South African car, so maybe it's been preserved and it's rust-free. Who knows? They're not all rust-free from SA, but that's an unusual car, isn't it? You could certainly do a lot of Ford shows with that one and it'd really stand out, wouldn't it? So lot 153 stands out. It is a Fiat Strada Abarth 130 TC. Now, these are hen's teeth rare. You'd absolutely book your place at the Festival of the Unexceptional, probably. Well, it's quite exceptional though, in fairness. It's got 58,900 miles, guided at £18,000 to £22,000. So watch out for that one coming through. Interested to see what that makes. It does look lovely, I must admit. So guided at a scarcely believable £24,000 to £28,000 is lot 238, which is one of the run-out Capris. It's one of the Brooklyns. So yes, it is a super nice car, but that is an awful lot of money for a Capri. But yeah, maybe they are making that sort of money. Maybe I'm out of touch with it. Parcel shelf looks intact. It's got an original, probably an original, but not remade dealer sticker in it. Honestly, maybe it is worth 24 to 28. You tell me. So an absolute sweet shop, a moonstone, I think, coloured Sierra RS Cosworth. We've got a Escort RS Cosworth built on the same platform as the Sierra, not commonly known, but not really related to the other Escorts of the day. And built by McLaren. This is the Mercedes SLR that McLaren built quite a rare car to see these, and quite an expensive car. Interested to see how much this one goes for, if indeed it does. Solar 187 is an absolutely stunning 1970 Volkswagen Carmen Gear. It is a show winner. It's been modified, and do they call it stanced? I don't know. Down with the kids, it's stanced apparently, but I tell you what, it's been very, very well done. This car looks like it's had a huge amount of money spent on it. Look at that paint. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but that is absolutely to die for, that paint finish. Somebody has really, really done an incredible amount of work on that car. I think that's going to be, that's probably my star of the show so far, of the auction anyway. So Lot 276 is a rare one. It's only guided at 12 to 15,000 pounds, but apparently this 2002 even ABT Sportsline Audi is one of 10 that were UK supplied, wide bodied, different trim. I think I might even have seen this on YouTube, on one of the YouTube channels. It does look rather nice, and it's not a wrap, it's paint. So actually that is that's a lovely looking car, isn't it? Well, to my eyes anyway it is, and a rare one, and that spoiler there and those ABT Sportsline details make it authentic. Fantastic. Bid away. So this is a Northern Irish supplied Northern Irish Audi Quattro 20 valve. The pearlescent paint on this lot number 223 is incredible. It's guided at 45 to 50,000 pounds. Probably that's a fair price. Looks like those attention to details like the sunroof, gasket and things like this is all complete. The paint is great actually. It's got the all-important Quattro in the rear window. But there you go. I absolutely love that one. I'd got 45 to 50,000 pounds. I'd be sticking my hand up and having a go at that really. Now if you want to look like a professional race or rally driver, Lot 235 is for you. It started life as a 316 BMW. It's now been converted to a track car with a 2.5 litre 6-cylinder engine in it, and there you go. Not for shrinking violets, but looks like it could be an awful lot of fun, that one, doesn't it? Now looking like you could carry it home in your bag or your rucksack is a Suzuki Whiskey. Now I saw a few of these Anglia car auctions last year. They weren't in great condition, they were restoration cars, but this one looks pretty mint, this one. Guided at 8 to 10,000 pounds, but then again it's only got 18,772 miles from new, and allegedly there are only 30 on UK roads left. As many as that, really? I'm surprised. So it'd be interesting to see the state of the market, what some of these cars make. Some are out of favour. Lot 250, a Bentley T1, a Mercedes CW123 chassis or C123 with some wheel arch trims. They're sometimes the kiss of death. They're covering up some sins. That's Lot 260. Interesting. Now it's possible I might have seen this Volvo 262C before. I think it was built mainly for the American market, and I'm pretty sure it was either assembled or by Bertoni or something like this. Interesting crest on the rear, lower roof line. In some ways it actually sort of works. It's a right-hand drive car. They did sell them in the UK, but they didn't sell them in huge numbers, to be honest with you. Certainly you stand out from the crowd. If you like Volvos and you want to be a little bit different, maybe that's the way to go. Excellent. So here's 3.3 litres of SVX Subaru loveliness, or called Alcyon in the home market of Japan. These have a huge glass area. We'll just take a walk around, bear with us while we do that. Best seen probably from the side and the back. These sort of windows that, you know, semi windows that I guess go down to come up to parking booths and things like that. But there you go. It's quite a striking car, and on sale at just under £20,000. So on the Volvo stand we've got the so-called cream yellow, the special colour that was marketed only on the T5R. There's a couple of estates here. Each country only got limited numbers of this colour apparently. Some countries didn't take many at all. We've got another estate there, but we've also got the sedan as well. Well, it's certainly distinctive, isn't it? The T5R, reports at the time said the R didn't add an awful lot except quite a stiff ride. Maybe time judges them differently, but certainly striking looking cars, aren't they? Those 850s, striking. Now there's always one last car that you've got to get in the video, and this has got to be it. It's a Simca Aronde. It is truly beautiful to my eyes anyway. It's almost Ferrari-esque styling. Simca, what an incredible organisation it was. It's actually owned for a period by Fiat, believe it or not. I didn't know that. It's got echoes of a few different cars. The echoes of the of some of the roots cars of the period. Echoes of Ferrari at the front. Wow, that is an incredibly pretty car, isn't it? So thanks again for joining me on Lot 76 Cars at the 2025 Practical Classics Restoration Show at the NEC. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and once again, as always, thanks for watching.